Hi you guys, it's Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with another weekly video and tip on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness. This week we're going to talk about what it means to be living in a sick home, or if your home has sick building syndrome. This is a very broad term. It is often used for large buildings, but we can also see these problems in homes, and so we need to know how to identify the problems and then what to do to get rid of the problems and fix your home. We want your home to be a healthy space that really supports your health and wellness, and so we're going to talk about what to do if you find these problems, but we're also going to talk about how to prevent these problems in the first place, where you don't have to worry about having a sick home or a sick building because you know the steps to take to prevent this altogether.
So sick house or sick building syndrome can sound like a big, scary issue. But to be honest, it really is just an underlying problem in more homes than we probably realize, including even potentially your home. So the truth is, our homes can contribute to our health and wellness. But the other truth is that they can also derail our health and wellness too. So if the environment that you live in is free from most toxins, and maybe it's similar to being outside in the fresh air, your body will really reap the benefits. Your body will feel better. But in the same breath, if your home is filled with toxins, your body is now in an overworked mode. And once the body goes into this state of furiously detoxing, it just really can't keep up. And this is when we see body burden, brain fog, fatigue, and suppression of all sorts of our systems. And unfortunately, we don't think to look at our homes until after our bodies become burdened, overworked, and bogged down. And so this week we're going to take a look at what a sick house is, what it can mean for your health, and then how to heal your house and prevent sick building syndrome in your own space. So essentially, a sick house or sick building syndrome is a space that in turn makes those living in the space sick or ill. And this can be due to a number of factors. So the first is an extremely tight building. While energy efficiency may sound like it is the absolute best solution, it can cause extremely unhealthy environments in your home due to the lack of fresh air getting inside. So that being said, there are some improvements that have been made to energy efficient buildings that in turn brings in fresh air. Things like air exchangers and other fresh air systems can really help. But homes retrofitted with energy efficient windows or insulation or doors can have a big issue with this tight building syndrome. Airborne building contaminants is another type of sick building syndrome, and the contaminants from building materials that may be old or new contribute to this sick building condition. So this is usually from dust or gases and vapors in the air inside the building or home that are directly from building materials. So old building materials being things like asbestos and lead, and new materials being things like silica or drywall or formaldehyde. Biological contaminants is another type of sick building issue that we see. These contaminants are basically living organisms or the byproduct from living organisms, and include things like dust mites, pet dander, mold, bacteria, and viruses all in your home. These biological contaminants can enter the home from our habits and lifestyle, or they can be in the building materials themselves. These contaminants can build up in the ventilation ducts, in the carpeting, in humidifiers, or even in furniture fabric. And finally, humidifier fever. So if you have a whole home humidifier, there is a potential for it to get contaminated with microorganisms. Once the contaminated humidifier produces water vapor to be spread around your home, it can cause respiratory infections, asthma, or flu-like symptoms. Essentially, it causes an inflammation of the lungs by colonized humidifier bacteria. There are serious health implications of an unhealthy home, and while our bodies are really resilient, they're also a great barometer of what exactly is going on around us. So symptoms should not be ignored because that's our body's way of telling us that something is off. Most acute symptoms of sick house syndrome will look like these. We have got headaches, dizziness, nausea, eye, nose, and throat irritation, dry or itching skin, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, sensitivity to odors, allergy symptoms, cold and flu-like symptoms, and even asthma attacks. Long-term issues can also arise if a home environment is not improved and if you're living in this space for a long period of time. And this is going to look like increased risk of cancer, lung damage, personality changes, chronic asthma, and even pregnancy problems. So the best barometer, like I said, for a sick home is if you yourself are sick. Quite often, our homes don't get diagnosed until after we do ourselves. And it's kind of an awful truth to hear. We often have no idea that our home has any issue until our body or our lives or our family's well-being is compromised. Often this particular problem is pinpointed by a functional medicine practitioner who is aware of what type of toxins a home can have and how it can play a role in our health and wellness. General practitioners don't always look to our environment as a root cause of our health issues. Another sure tell sign is if you've had testing done in your home or you have an indoor air quality monitor that tells you there's an issue. These tests are so insightful into what is truly going on in your space, and oftentimes they can detect issues that we don't necessarily see or feel right away. So how do we deal with sick building syndrome in your home? First and foremost, proper ventilation and large amounts of fresh air from outside is key to healing your home. Oftentimes, fresh air is needed to dilute the toxins inside while also allowing them to be displaced outside. Second, it's important to know when it's time to call in a professional. So if your home was built prior to 1978, there is potential for toxins like asbestos and lead to be present in your home. If you suspect potential lead or asbestos in your home due to its age, you have the option of calling a professional mitigator in right away to safely remove these toxins from your home. Third, you'll want to do a visual inspection for mold and areas that may potentially have high levels of moisture. You can use a hygrometer and move it from room to room if you need to help determine humidity levels. But what we know is that levels of high humidity in a home encourage off-gassing, they encourage mold growth, and they encourage dust mite reproduction. And then finally, get your home tested for contaminants or get an indoor air quality monitor. I walked you through a post recently about testing and indoor air quality monitors. Most of the contaminants in your home are not seen to the naked eye, and so it's important to have your home assessed with an environmental test. Obviously, prevention is worth a lot here since it can save you from toxic body burden over time. We're going to go through some super simple ways to prevent a sick house and begin to restore your own health. So first, ventilation. It's free and essentially involves almost zero effort on your part. Opening up windows and running fans. This is my number one tip to all homeowners in just about any place. If you live in an area with polluted air, I linked you to a blog post this week that will help you out. But essentially just opening your windows and letting fresh air in frequently during the day, as weather allows, is the key to creating a healthier indoor space. Even in the winter, I will open a window or two for just 10 minutes at a time to get some fresh air in and dilute toxins. You can also run vented fans to help move indoor air outside. You'll also want to clean and remove dust regularly. So removing dust on a regular basis, vacuuming as well as deep vacuuming, replacing your furnace filters, and just general cleaning to reduce dust is going to be one of the best ways to reduce toxins inside your home. Many building contaminants and biological contaminants will end up mixed in with the dust or attached to the dust in your home. And so by removing the dust completely, you also remove the contaminants. You'll also want to be keeping your indoor air temperature at an even temperature instead of letting it fluctuate all over the place. This is going to assist with your indoor air pressure. And the reason this is so important is that when our indoor air pressure becomes negative, our home can actually draw in toxins from the soil beneath your home, such as radon, and toxins from the outside in general. So the other part of a healthy climate is keeping the relative humidity levels on the low side. Of course, you don't want to go too low, but ideally between 35% and 40% is perfect to keep mold away and keep VOCs from off-gassing and dust mites from reproducing. Be hyper aware of what you are bringing into your space. You want to avoid using any sort of insecticide or bleach in your home ever. I linked you to Earthkind this week, which is my favorite natural pest deterrent, and it's safe for your home. You also want to choose a really high quality, healthy cleaner such as Aspen Clean that has been verified by the Environmental Working Group as a safe and healthy cleaner for your home to avoid any fumes or toxins. And I cannot stress this enough, but do your body a favor and get rid of your home fragrances anywhere. So from cleaning products to laundry products, perfumes or candles, plugins, wax melts, they all have toxic fragrances in them. So if your home is extremely energy efficient, those fragrance toxins have nowhere to go. And so they stay inside your home. If you can avoid bringing them in the first place, you are doing yourself a favor. And then finally, getting a mold test may not sound like fun, but it is so worth it. A lot of time, mold is one of the toxins that we really don't know is in our home until there's confirmation in the form of a test result, either from yourself or from someone testing your home. So the great news is that mold testing does not need to be extremely difficult or expensive. It can be a simple routine test you perform at home, just like a routine health exam. So sick house syndrome is a real problem and can often go undetected. But as I always say, being aware of what is going on and what potential issues you may have at home is the best way to stay on top of it.
As always, thank you so much for being here. I hope you subscribe to my channel because I am here every week with another healthy house tip that will help you create a space inside your home that truly supports your health and wellness.